Hey guys, welcome back. Behavior Strategies for Class. This is where we empower educators with behavior strategies that work so you can teach. And I am Diane Bachman, your behavior strategist, trauma-informed coach, and I have worked in special education for almost 2 decades, and I am so glad that you are here. Because today we're going to talk about behavior incentives, holiday style, right? It's the holidays. And this whole month, we are talking about different ways that you can help manage excitement, that you can do winter social emotional learning in episode 218, sorry. So you can go back and catch up on some winter wellness with social emotional learning in episode 218. So again, this whole month we're talking about surviving that pre-holiday chaos at school. So as the holidays approach, classrooms can feel both joyful and overwhelming. Right, today we're unwrapping some creative, trauma-informed behavior incentives that will bring festive fun without adding stress. So grab your cocoa, settle in, and let's explore how holiday incentives can spark joy, connection, and resilience in your classroom. Welcome to Behavior Strategies for Class. I am Diane Bachman, your behavior paraprofessional, with over 15 years of experience working in special education. And I'm so glad you're here because I'll be teaching you about social emotional learning, behavior strategies, trauma-informed care, and more. So if you are tired of being frustrated and not knowing what to do with your students who have challenging and disruptive behavior, you're in the right place. Now, if you're ready to become more equipped to help your students learn and grow, let's listen in to today's episode. So before we get started, hit that subscribe button, share this podcast or episode with any other educators you know, so we continue to learn and grow together. So also, we have not had any or done any of these major holiday behavior incentives. So, because they're doing a lot already in their gen ed classes. And if you've been listening, I work in a behavior program where we have our own classroom, our own strategies that we help teach our kids. But for the most part, they are in their gen ed classrooms majority of the day. So they are still getting like behavior incentives as well in their gen ed class. So we don't do a ton of these type of incentives in our classroom. The only incentives we've done with them, at least for this holiday season, is if they've met their goals through the week, they do earn some candy canes, some extra little candy. We'll have hot chocolate, the end of the week on that last, the last hour, half hour or so of school on Friday. And so that's been their kind of holiday style behavior incentive. And then we'll usually turn on a little holiday program. And they always love that. Coloring, they love doing holiday coloring, making cards, doing all the crafting. They love doing that. And that is their incentive for making their goals for the week. And so that's what they get right now. But today I'm going to talk about 6 other type of behavior incentives with that holiday style flair. And so the first one is holiday helper tickets. And you can pass these out for positive behavior. And we do respect tickets. Kids earn those. This is like throughout the year for earning, being respectful, being their best, helping others, showing kindness. And so they get those respect tickets. And this is just another way of doing that. And you can call them holiday helper tickets. This is what I have seen. And so you just give them a ticket, and they earn, say at the end of the week, those who have earned at least 10, for the week, then they can come and earn or pick a prize. Right? We usually have like a treasure box, and everybody can pick a prize if they've met their goal for the day. So that's just another incentive to encourage them to, do something a little bit extra to help those around them and showing that positive behavior. Number 2 is just a little bit different, and you can do candy cane coupons. Now, these are a little bit different where they use the coupons, and these are not for prizes. These are more for like engagement activities. So this is for like fun activity, like to do a certain games, do drawing, maybe sit with their friend for the day. Sometimes we have like fundraisers throughout the year, and some students earn the chance to sit in the principal's chair for the day. And our principal will actually like wheel down her chair to that student, whoever won, and they get to sit in the principal's, seat all day. And so that's just another like coupon that students can use instead, or, having lunch with another teacher or a special teacher, or with you, right? Or, with their counselor or whoever it is, or with the principal. Like these are extra like engagement coupons that they can earn. Now, maybe you can use it with the tickets, where say they have 10 tickets and they want to turn it in and get a coupon so they can have lunch with the principal. Again, trying not to make it complicated, but you can kind of intertwine some of these behavior incentives. So number 3, you can do sticker stockings. So the kids create their own stocking. So like out of paper, you could do cardstock, you could just do construction paper, however you want to do it. Have them, cut out their own stocking, and they can achieve stickers. So instead of tickets, they would achieve stickers to put on their stocking, and that is by their behavior. Or you can just do specifically like showing kindness. How have you showed kindness? Or if it's, nobody got mad this week, or nobody lost their temper, or I don't know, whatever it is you want to make up that works for your classroom so that they can achieve stickers. Then they put the stickers on their stocking, and when their stocking is full of stickers, then they could earn a prize again. And just a little side note, Oriental Trading, we use them all the time to get prizes. And that's a great place to get prizes. Amazon also, but we find we can get a lot more sometimes through Oriental Trading. Side note. So back to the sticker stockings. So they could also earn a prize, or maybe that's when they earn just a special time for doing hot cocoa. So that's just them, maybe a few people in the back of the room that are able to get hot cocoa that day, or, whenever you decide to do that. Number 4, I think is super fun, is a holiday karaoke time. And this is more a whole class. So your whole class has earned this time. And so maybe, the stickers are for maybe a giant classroom stocking. Or the holiday helper stickers go inside of a giant stocking. Or inside of Santa's hat. I don't know. However you want to do it. Or maybe on a Christmas tree. Maybe you could do a paper Christmas tree. Maybe you do a cute little fake one in your room, and you add those, maybe stickers, or you can even make candy cane ornaments. You could make little ticket ornaments. And say, the Christmas tree fills up and there's like 50 tickets. Well, now it's time for holiday karaoke. And how much fun that is. Like, kids love that. Granted, there's going to be some that'll be like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting in front of everybody. I'm not doing that. And that's okay. Like, have maybe a little option, in the back of the room, kids just want to draw or color or whatever, then they can do that. But obviously, if you can get everybody in and have some fun and karaoke time that the whole class has earned, you won't be sorry. Your students will love it. So, number 5 is a craft corner, and that is also earned by positive behavior, and that can also be at the end of the week. So say they've earned 20 holiday helper tickets. So if they've earned 20 holiday helper tickets, now they have access to the craft corner. So maybe instead of doing karaoke, now you're doing maybe a game time, and you're also offering the craft corner, because I know that you have at least a handful of students who love to do crafts. Like, they love to create their own Christmas cards, their own ornaments, their own snowflakes. They love doing all of that stuff. So set that up, and that's easy. For the most part, you probably have all of those supplies already in your classroom, and you're just setting it up in the back of the room on, maybe that Friday afternoon. And those students who have earned, maybe that full stocking and those holiday helper tickets, they can turn those in, and instead of getting a coupon, now they want to do the crafting. They want to go to the craft corner. Those are other great incentives for your students. Number 6 is where you can involve like your grade level and do a competition between classrooms. We used to do that at our previous school, and it was actually for a reading program, in where the classroom whose students read the most books would earn like this. They made this giant trophy, out of cardboard and I don't know, whatever else they put on there and painted and stuff. And, that was like the envy of everybody in that grade level. And I know our one of the teachers, man, he was very competitive and always wanted that trophy. So he was constantly encouraging his students to read. And they won, I want to say, at least 2 years in a row. And that is a great incentive. A little bit different, right? Not necessarily behavior, in as far as positive behavior. Of course, reading is positive behavior, but you know what I mean? It was more a reading program that they were having the competition in. But in this holiday style grade level competition, you can see maybe which classroom is getting the most holiday helper tickets, maybe which classroom has the most stockings full of stickers. And then when that happens, say, maybe all the classes get together and they have movie time, and they'll have popcorn and maybe, some hot chocolate at that time as well. We have done that a few times where we've gone into the cafeteria and brought in like the whole grade level kids and watched like the Polar Express. And kids are in their Christmas jammies and they bring their Christmas blankets or pillows. And that's just a super fun time that they love to do. And that's definitely closer to where like our break is going to start. But that is a whole fun new way to incorporate not only your whole classroom, but the other classrooms in your grade level. And you could do movie time, you could do games time, maybe having different games in each classroom, or you guys all earn like an extra recess. We've had one teacher that I worked with who would go out and play football with his students. And of course, the students loved to do that. So that's a fun way that students can earn through grade level competition and who has the most positive behavior during this time. And the positive behavior is really like showing that they can control their emotions, showing that they can use their behavior strategies correctly. Like one of our students today even was very frustrated and upset, and he was really just tired. He really just needed a break. But instead of really expressing that, he just got upset and he got angry and got mad. And so I just reminded him once he was able to be calm, is like, buddy, if you just need a break, you're exhausted, like you can ask for a break. You don't have to get upset and get mad and kick the wall and whatever else. So that's another way to remind them of what is the positive behavior that you could do instead of getting angry and mad and kicking things. Just use your words and say, okay, this is what I need right now. That's a positive behavior. A positive behavior, helping a peer. If you see somebody struggling with something, being able to go help. Maybe it's during math lesson. Maybe it's during writing. Maybe you picked up somebody's stuff that dumped all over in the classroom, and that one student came over and helped them. They didn't wait for you to ask them to help. Another positive behavior is maybe that one student who is constantly blurting out all the time is finally learning, like, just raise your hand. Raise your hand. And I'll get to you when I can. Raise your hand. And maybe they've done much better, like this last week. That's positive behavior. That student who's usually aggressive has just turned and walked away. They haven't yelled at a peer. They haven't pushed a peer. They haven't kicked a peer. They haven't hit a peer. They've just walked away when they're angry. That's an improvement. That's positive behavior. In fact, I had that also with another student. I could tell was really upset. And I said, hey, buddy, I said, do you want to take a walk? And he said, yeah. And so I was able to take him for a walk around the building, and he just, I said, we can talk about it if you want, or we can just walk. Like, it's okay. And after a few minutes, he shared like he had gotten frustrated with another student, and he really made him mad. And I said, buddy, I said, you did the right thing. I said, you didn't lash out. You didn't, hit him. You didn't, again, push, do any physical aggression. But I could tell you were upset. But another way, and just reminding him again, like, you can come and ask, like, can I take a walk? Instead of waiting for someone to come to you. And that's just something that they can learn, but still giving them kudos for like not losing their temper. Like, that's definitely a big positive behavior win. Trying to think of some other, we have another student who loves to cuss when he gets angry. And so if, maybe for a couple of days you haven't heard any cuss words, like, that's some positive behavior. Like, we gotta, acknowledge that win. Maybe seeing your students like do their work before you remind them what they have to do, or getting out their books when they know, okay, the next transition is math, so they're already getting out their workbook and their pencil and whatever else they need without waiting for your instructions. I know some of these are not big, huge deals, but that is still positive behavior that you can reinforce and give those incentives for your students during this time, especially. Because we all know this pre-holiday chaos is really stressful for a lot of your students as well as for you. So giving them some ideas and some incentives on how to be positive. And sometimes another way of positive behavior, we've had a couple students who are, they just negative self-talk a lot. Or one of our students has started like hitting himself in the head. Well, I'm just dumb. I'm dumb. And he starts hitting himself, and it's like, buddy, no, you're not. And sometimes I just ignore the behavior for a few minutes, and he'll usually stop. Because I don't want to give a reinforcement of that behavior. But I do also remind him, like, that's not safe. That makes me sad when you try and hurt yourself. So some ideas, there's lots of different ways that you can see that positive behavior and give that behavior incentive to reinforce that positive behavior. Another idea I just thought of too is the whole lining up. So in elementary school, which is where I work, kids are constantly lining up, to go outside, lining up to go to lunch, lining up for transitions into specials like PE. And, positive behavior is like letting in that student who was late, to come line up, letting them in front of you and not throwing a fit. I mean, that's always kind of a big deal for these little guys. Like, oh, he's cutting in front of me. He's cutting. Like, it's okay, dude. Like, take a deep breath and just remind that student. Sometimes we'll just be like, okay, you can tell him like you need to go to the end. And other times they're like, no, he can just go right here. It's fine. Like, that's amazing too, giving that positive behavior reinforcement. Because that is what these behavior incentives are for, right? To reinforce the positive behavior, the behavior that you want to see that will help them ultimately in the long run of life, right? In those social skills and building positive relationships and being able to interact positively and encouraging with each other. So just to recap, some behavior incentives, holiday style. Number 1 is the holiday helper tickets earned for that positive behavior. Number 2 is candy cane coupons, where they could trade those in for some of their tickets and get some different fun activities. Number 3 is the sticker stockings, where they achieve stickers for showing kindness and positive behavior. Number 4 is that holiday karaoke time, and that is a whole class achievement. Number 5 is earning a craft corner by that positive behavior through the holiday helper tickets, through maybe the sticker stockings, and giving them the opportunity to do crafts. And then number 6 is doing a grade level competition, seeing who gets the most filled stockings of stickers or the most holiday helper tickets, and earning that extra movie time, games, extra recess, whatever works for you. So I hope these help. I think these are so much fun if you are able to at least use one of these incentives to incorporate into your classroom to help kind of ease that stress. Because I know you still obviously are doing learning and teaching and so many other things, but just giving this other little incentive to encourage them to keep that joy and excitement going, but in a controlled way as much as possible. So I want to leave you with this quote from Mother Teresa that says, "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless." Like, how cool would it be if you could earn some kindness tickets? I'm sure you would just have a ton of them all over your desk because you're constantly giving kindness, encouraging your students, challenging your students, motivating your students. And I just want to continue to encourage you to educate patiently and inspire consistently. You guys are amazing, and you will survive this pre-holiday chaos. All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening. I truly appreciate your support. And if I have encouraged you, motivated you to continue to learn, to support your students, even better, to help them strive in your classroom, please leave a review, hit that subscribe button so that others can see they can learn and grow here as well. Thank you.